We're talking to Michael Hirsh of Newsweek. Michael, I want to move on to George W. Bush and the remaining action.
Shoe throwing.
The shoe throwing. Yeah, I've already said my piece on the shoe throwing. It's obviously not a constructive way to go. But
I think it was somehow appropriate.
You do?
Oh, well, I think the guy, the journalist who did it is now, a hero in a good part of the Arab world.
There's no question about that. He's already gotten a Courage Award in Libya, and there's thousands of people protesting for his release already. But do you think that it was an appropriate wake-up call for Bush? And if so, did he?
I don't. I think Bush is going to need a lot more than that for a wake-up call. But I think there are a lot of Iraqis, obviously, and Arabs, but particularly Iraqis, who are quite angry with the devastation of their country. I mean, look at this report from Stuart Bowen's office, the Iraq Special Inspector, late last week, which concluded that despite all the money we put in there, all we achieved in doing was basically bringing the country approximately back to where it was when Saddam was in rule, and at the cost, obviously, of thousands and thousands of Iraqi lives and limbs, and they have reason to be upset with the author of this, and a shoe aimed at Bush's head, I think, is not such a terrible expression of some of that frustration.
That's really interesting. So I thought what was much more problematic for Bush in that visit was his interview with ABC, where he says, it turns out Al-Qaeda wanted this to be the central front on the war on terror, and Martha Raddatz says, wait, not before you invaded, after you invaded.
Yeah, I mean,
and he says, so what?
Look, it's very soon now, and I think about a little over 30 days, we're going to stop this, nation mass hallucination we've all allowed ourselves to be subjected to, whereby we thought the Iraq War is viewed as a rational act. It was not a rational act. Obama rose to attention in part because in 2002 he said, "Look, this is a dumb war." And we can now get on with our lives. This guy's about gone, and we can stop pretending that there was any kind of, rational, strategic motivation behind this act of war that he committed. And that's that. I mean, let's just move beyond it already.
Well,
and try to fix the damage as best we can.
I hear you on that, Michael, but I do want to do a final period on that, which is I think that So What is emblematic of his entire 8-year reign. Where he was callously indifferent to the consequences of his actions. And what is really pathetic is that he still doesn't seem to get it. That all those people died, and he thinks as the President of the United States of America that it's appropriate to say so what to that question in the middle of an interview?
Well, look, I mean, I think that once, like Bush and all the senior officials, you've made a decision like the invasion of Iraq, the alternative to defending it is too terrible. I mean, to contemplate the idea that you went to war completely unnecessarily and that all that blood is on your hands is just too much to contemplate. And so I think you're going to see Bush and Condi Rice and Rumsfeld and the rest of them, they are going to spend the rest of their lives justifying that, trying to defend it. You will not hear any one of them say, "Oh, you know what? We screwed up the whole thing. It wasn't the right thing to do." You simply won't hear it. And that's just the way it is. And Bush is not going to end up in The Hague, obviously. There's not going to be any charges against him. And so, a shoe shied at him by a lone Iraqi journalist, that might be the one small measure of justice that is achieved.